For 44 episodes, you have been learning how this machinery works. Tokens, attention, retrieval, agents, the whole stack. And somewhere along the way, you have probably asked the obvious question. Fine, but what do I actually need to build with this? What computer? What software? What language? Which of the 500 tools with cute logos actually matter? This episode is the answer. One honest shopping list, from hardware to IDE, with the reasons attached. By the end, you will know exactly what to set up, what it costs, for most people, almost nothing, and which episode to revisit when you want the theory behind each piece. Quick note before we dig in. If you find this useful, subscribe and drop a topic you want explained in the comments. Now, let us get into it. Start with the question that stops most people before they begin. Do I need an expensive machine? Here is the honest answer the gaming PC videos will not give you. It depends entirely on where the model runs, and there are only two options. If the model runs in the cloud, you call Claude or GPT through an API, then the model's hardware is someone else's problem, and any laptop from the last 5 years is enough. 8 GB of RAM, any operating system, done. Most professional AI work, including most production systems at real companies, is exactly this. You are writing ordinary code that sends text to a very smart server. Do not let a hardware excuse delay you a single day. The second option is running models locally, which you met in the Ollama episode. Now hardware matters, and the number that matters is memory. That was the whole lesson of the VRAM episode. A quick refresher in one breath, a model's weights must fit in fast memory near the processor, so memory size decides which models you can run at all. 16 GB of RAM runs the small models, the 3 to 8 billion parameter class, quantized. Apple's Silicon Macs are quietly excellent here because their unified memory lets the GPU use all of it. A MacBook with 32 or 64 GB is a genuine local AI machine. On the PC side, the used market is the Smart Play. A second-hand RTX 3090 with 24 GB of VRAM remains the classic budget workhorse for local models. And if you need serious GPU power occasionally, for the fine-tuning we will do in a later episode, do not buy it. Rent it. Cloud GPU services charge by the hour. A weekend of experiments costs less than a dinner out, and free tiers like Collab cost nothing. The rule: start with the laptop you own, rent the muscle when a project demands it, and only buy hardware once you know what you actually run every day. Operating system, quickly. macOS and Linux are the native lands of AI tooling. Everything works first. On Windows, install WSL2, which gives you a real Linux environment inside Windows. Modern AI tools assume a Unix-style terminal, and this removes 100 small frictions. Speaking of the terminal, you will use it. Not because developers enjoy suffering, but because every tool in this stack is driven by short-typed commands, and the terminal is where agents like Claude Code live, as you saw in the Coding Agents episode. Now the language. Learn Python. This is not a style preference, it is where the entire ecosystem lives. PyTorch, Hugging Face, LangChain, every vector database client, every research paper's code, Python first, everything else later. It is also the friendliest major language to learn, and here's the modern twist. The coding agents from episode 39 mean you learn faster than any previous generation, because you can ask the agent to explain every line it writes. If you build web products, TypeScript is the worthy second language. The JavaScript AI toolkits are mature now. But nobody needs C++ or Rust or anything exotic to build serious AI applications. Python plus Curiosity covers 95% of this field. With Python comes the one piece of housekeeping that defeats more beginners than any concept in this course: environments. Every project needs its own isolated set of installed packages, or version conflicts will eat your week. The modern answer is a tool called UV1 Fast Tool that installs Python itself, creates a private environment per project, and manages packages. Project folder, one command for a new environment, install what you need, and nothing ever collides. Adopt this discipline on day one, and you will never know the pain everyone else complains about. For experiments, add Jupyter Notebooks, files where code, its output, and your notes live together, perfect for poking at embeddings or testing prompts interactively before the code graduates into a real script. Your editor. VS Code is the default for a reason. Free, excellent Python support, and every AI tool ships an extension for it first. The AI native editors like Cursor are VS Code with an agent woven in. And the third option is no editor upgrade at all, a terminal agent like Claude Code alongside whatever you write in. Any of the three is fine. The theory episodes made you the judgment layer either way. You review the agent types. Add Git in a GitHub account from the very first project. Version control is what lets you experiment fearlessly because every working state is saved, and your GitHub becomes the portfolio that AI-era employers actually read. Now the stack itself, 7 free things, each one mapping to an episode you have already watched. 1. Ollama, your local model runner from episode 7. 2. A Hugging Face account, the GitHub of models, where open weights, datasets, and leaderboards live. 3. One API key, Anthropic or OpenAI, with a few dollars of credit for when you need frontier model quality. The function calling and structured output episodes come alive the first time you use them through an API. 4. A local vector database. Chroma is the classic starter, one install, no server, and the vector database episode told you exactly what it is doing under the hood. 5. An orchestration library if and when you want. One LangChain or Llama index. Episode 24 gave you the honest when to use it. 6. UF and Git, your foundations. 7. Jupyter for experiments. That is the whole rig. Total cost, 0, plus optional API credits. The barrier to entry for this field has never been money. It is knowing what the pieces are for, and that part you already own. So how does this land, depending on who you are? As an individual, your move is to stop preparing and build this week, install Ollama and UV, pull a small model, and make Python talk to it. That one afternoon converts 44 episodes of theory into muscle memory. As a startup, the lesson is that your laptops are not your constraint. Develop against APIs and rented GPUs, and spend your scarce capital on data and product, not on racks of hardware that idle at 3% utilization. And as a large enterprise, this stack is your prototyping tier. The same Ollama plus Trauma setup that costs an individual nothing lets your teams pilot ideas on internal data behind your own firewall before any procurement conversation needs to happen. Let us bring it home with the recap. What you learned today, hardware only matters when models run locally, and memory is the number that decides. Start with the laptop you own, rent GPUs by the hour, buy last. The software foundation is Python managed by UV, one environment per project. Git from day one. The editor is VS Code, or an AI native cousin, plus the terminal you will stop fearing within a week. And the complete free stack is Ollama, Hugging Face, an API key, Chroma, and Jupyter, 7 pieces, each one an episode you have already understood. Next episode, we go one layer beneath the tools and answer the question every self-taught developer whispers: how much math do I actually need? The honest answer: the handful of ideas about vectors, probabilities, graphs, and search that this whole course has been quietly using is coming next. Subscribe so you do not miss it. That is the core of it. If this helped, hit like and subscribe, ring the bell for the next deep dive, and tell me in the comments what you want broken down next. Thanks for watching.